about the wrong thing, the wrong side or something. Hard to see.
The note that just hangs on. Welcome to Flying with Mike again, VATSIM. Twitch, welcome back. Hey, sorry for that, a couple minutes longer than I thought. But welcome back, YouTube. We are getting ready. Yes, the queen of the sky, Felis B747-200. In this case, the Clipper, belle of the skies, getting ready to fly to Frankfurt from Vienna. Another kind of short haul run, a little bit longer, but I think you'll all enjoy it. What we're going to do on this one, though, the reason I haven't done much for those that were waiting in the background there on Twitch, waiting to see me get everything prepped and ready for when YouTube came, push it back, ready to go. Nope, we're going to do one better this time. We're going to bring a sim toolkit in here. I'm going to kind of show it off a little, but not really sim toolkit, but Pan Am Virtual, who we're flying for. And by the way, I do run the Pan Am side of the house. And you're going, what? There's more to it? Yeah, there's a TWA side. Those of you that know aviation are going, what? Yeah, the two airlines that probably hated each other the most, hey, we got them under one roof. Yeah, I've got the Pan Am side, here's the other irony to it. Another gentleman has TWA. I live in St. Louis where TWA was. Yeah, go figure that one. So, welcome to flight simming. Wow. Anyway, we're going to bring up Sim Toolkit. Now, I'm only bringing it up because there is a neat feature a lot of you all may not know. Now, why did that not change? Huh. Hang on a second. We had a snafu somewhere. Always a snafu somewhere. We'll fix it this way. And I know I changed that. That's what's got me. I must not have hit save. That's the only thing that makes me think that. All right. Let me just make sure. Here's what's actually going on today. It's a 747 day. YouTubers, you're going to find that there was another 747 flight flown. We'll be getting that up there here shortly. You'll probably already have watched it by the time this video releases. So we don't fly in live with both. Just some real big questions that run through my mind. Mainly, will my system handle it? But that's why. So we basically fly the flight on Twitch, then afterwards upload and then set them up to release. Because I do have 2 or 3 days where I may not be able to fly because I'm just too exhausted from the job I have. So anyway, all of that aside, I can hear y'all going, so? All right, so let's go to Pan Am Virtual down here. By the way, I don't know if I put that up there or not. There we go. That's how you can get in and join us. We've actually got a growing pilot list of pilots. Like I said, we fly TWA and we fly Pan Am. I still got to get the Far East routes in there. I haven't sat down and done that yet, but we'll get that here as quickly as we can. All right. So we use a system called VAMSYS, VAMSYS. It's a really good virtual airline management system. It's also with the American and Piedmont airlines that I fly to. It's really good, really well structured for virtual airlines. So if you are a virtual air manager, CEO type, you may want to look into it. I think it's a little pricey. If I look, because I thought about it, looking at it, that I went, well, at the time I was unemployed, so I couldn't. But it's really packed with a lot of neat features. So let's get into Pan Am Virtual here. This is the dashboard once you're approved and able to fly with us. Okay, we have an event going on. I'm not going to showcase it, but from LA to Frankfurt, I believe it is, maybe London. But yeah, they're there. We have them every now and then. We also do a lot with the DCS, Digital Combat Sim outfit that our CEO is also runs, and we'll be moving them around from time to time. All right, so what you'll do here when you come in, you'll click Make a Booking. Pretty simple, huh? It'll do its little thing here. Here's where we are, and the map should have popped up by now. Interesting. Looks like it may have locked up. Try that again. Let me try it and try it dark. All right, well, anyway, the world would show up here. Am I logged in? Yeah. Huh. I don't know why we're not seeing anything here. Usually it works. Well, like I said, see, here's that snafu that came in. All right. So hang on. We're not trying it a third time. All right. Well, let me do this offline. Anyway, we would have gone in, booked our flight, and then it would have gone through SimBrief and set it up for us. But it's being snafu-ish. That's a word. If not, I just made it up. All right, so bear with me a second. I'm going to go ahead and do this out here, we hope. Ah, there it is. And the only place we can go, well, there's only two places out of Vienna that 1985 Pan Am went to. Delhi in India, or New Delhi. I don't know the technical, and Frankfurt. They actually, believe it or not, really did not. I mean, they went a lot of places, but not where you would have thought. And the 727s that they had really didn't filter through Europe like they did in the US. The 737-200s did. By 85, they should have been higher up. But anyway, so you would basically book the flight, which we're doing. Pan Am 73, we'll select it. And we'll go for the fleet as a 747. And then we're in 727 PA, which is the Clipper Bell of the Sky that you see on your screen. And now, here's, okay, something about the 747-200. For me, I am flying it with the FMS. Many of you out there love flying this plane with the SIVA or the LTV. INS systems. I don't fly those. And it's nothing against Felis. I had a real bad experience many years ago. It really ticked me off. And I come, like all of you, to fly to not get ticked off, to enjoy, relax, decompress. It was a good month or two of working with SIVA, working with the guy that made that version of the 747. We could not figure out why the SIVA screwed up. So I tossed the plane. PMDG was just released the 747-400 for either a Century, a Flight, or FSX. I just went to it. And eventually an FMS would come out, universal, that I could use with the plane, and we got it back in the sky. We have no idea what code, how this code, why we couldn't clear it. The only thing we figured is I'd have to do a complete dump of my system, reboot it back up with disks and all of that. So I wasn't about to do that. So yeah, it was a pain. And by the way, that version of the 747 by another person, you had to purchase the SIVA, so yeah, I had to spend on it. Here, it comes with the plane. And I know a bunch of you out there love it, and it's a great, oh boy, I had fun with it. But that error code, whatever it was, would not allow it to align. So, long story short, that's why I don't even want to try it anymore. It just was that bad of an experience with that version of SIVA and not the one that Felis has in this plane. I just don't want to go through a chance of going through that again. I know, lame, but that's why. All right, so long story, back to the flight, because I know I bored you there. We're going to put in our fuel at 20 to get out, 10 to get in, 20 to taxi out to the runway, 10 to taxi in. And basically what you're doing is you're setting it up so when you click VATSIM, dispatch, you're dispatching via SimBrief. Now you can do it without SimBrief, but with Pan Am Virtual, you can dispatch and it will reach out to SimBrief, just like you're used to when you do a flight plan in SimBrief, and come back with your new and improved worksheet here. And you basically, hang on a second. And you get your route. Now, the one bad thing here is it could put you on runways and approach and departures that aren't really in use because the winds are so out of whack with it. But you can adjust that. Okay, so what came in? View flight plan. All right, so we are looking at, well, we can actually look at this now. Let me bring Sim Toolkit back up. All right. Now this I should be able to show you. All right, so here we are. Here's our flight. So we're flying Pan Am 73. There it is. 30,000 is our initial. I don't think we're going any higher. I'm kind of shocked. We got a 420-mile flight, hour long. We're going to board 304 people. Okay, take these with a grain of salt. We can put the 304 on. The cargo, maybe not. What I'm going to aim for is a respectable load. I'm going to actually put more cargo on than you see there. There's our route down here. We'll see it more in general here in a minute. Again, take it with a grain of salt. We could be changing. For instance, 7 right? Yeah, I could land on that runway. That's okay. If the winds are capiching with us. And 010 at 3. Yeah, I think we can do that. And down here at low, I'm sorry. 250 at 4. Yeah, 29's a good runway for departure. So everything in this flight does. Our outbound flight did not match with this. Okay. So we are going to get into the cockpit here and we are going to begin to take a look at this flight a little more in detail, but we're going to be doing it from a loading of the plane. Now, with Twitch, we have gone through and done the basics of getting this plane ready. By that, I'm going to walk you through it real quick so you know what to expect. Okay, when you first come in, it's cold and dark always. You cannot set this in any other configuration. Before touching this panel, head over here, get your battery and your standby power to normal. Come back, set your chocks, let them say it, connect your GPU and ACU. Once they're on, you'll see these white lights at the top here. You can then click them, engage, so you're on ground power. And then come over to the hydraulics, start up your electric hydraulic pump so everything's juiced up. You can see that right here. Where the landing gear lever is, just to the right is your hydraulics. And you can see we're barely in the green, which is good. You're good to go, and then you can open your doors. Otherwise, you won't be able to open your cargo doors. Going to go ahead, open up the main passenger door. Come up here. We're aligned. We'll put these in. The other thing you'll need to do is turn your radio master bus on upper left to on and put your INS switches, even if you're using the FMS, to align. Everything you just heard clicking, guess what, is irrelevant. Now, anti-skid and body gear steering, those you need to turn on, as well as your no smoking and fasten your seatbelts. We'll go through this panel more in a few moments. Checking everything out, looking good. Okay. Once you have your doors and your cargo doors open, click Home. Let's go to the load calculator. Also, you can see your frame rates here. Like I said, we are going to fly this on VATSIM. For those that were on Twitch and heard us, we weren't a flight before with the 747-8 because it's so brand new and so many quirks to it. I don't trust it on VATSIM. Okay, let's get going. Okay, one more time for Sim Toolkit. We've already gone through this. Let's close it up. Let's plan a flight. Now you're going, wait a minute, we just did. Bear with me. Load. Ah, that's where the problem was. Standby. Got to add an aircraft. Okay, bear with me. So we'll click add, put the registration, November 727. I was always wondering, and I thought this was it, why we were never getting any Pan Am indication on it. Now I know. Okay. And a location. And finally, all right, so we'll plan the flight again. Now we have an aircraft up here. Okay, so there's our route. Same as we saw earlier. Everything's good here. Click. And now we have the route. So you can kind of get a gist of what we have planned. We're going to fly out, come across, and come in on 7 right. That's going to be from the terminal, main normal terminal, not that new one in the southeast side of the airport, but the main one everyone knows, farthest runway to the south of it, 7 right. Okay, loadout. Well, we kind of know, and I told you, kind of take this with a little bit of salt because this will not be how we load the plane. It'll be in general terms. Okay, and you'll see what I mean here in a second. 304 people, may or may not, I doubt we'll even have the fuel load that you see here. But the lower part we will follow. 30,000, Mach 0.85, and there's our route and runways. Weather. Here in Vienna, west wind at 8, 260 at 8. Unlimited visibility, few clouds of 4,200. It's 50 degrees. It's nighttime there. So expect it cooler. Same in Frankfurt. Frankfurt, we're 010 at 5. clear, visibility okay, and again, 9 degrees, a little cooler, not much. All right, but again, we're dark, but we're flying daytime. Unfortunately, real world weather doesn't change for that. It's real world. So what it is right now, technically, is what it should be where we're at, technically. So there you have it. Now we can also, whoop, wrong one. I meant to click this one. Pre-file. We're going to get that going here in a second because it's been a while since we've done it. Signing in. All right. Let me get some data filled in here. I know why it doesn't, because of my situation where I don't fly with the INS. And all right, one more thing. Okay, 2330, good deal. All right, and we should be good to go here now. All right, let me clear that off. Clear that. And we're going to go ahead, get rid of the SIM toolkit. I'm going to go ahead and connect in. And you can see we're connected. And we're going to just keep going, ad break or no ad break. So just to let you know. Now, however, I am going to kind of slow a little bit here because I would like my Twitch audience to also be able to see what we're doing and hear what I'm doing. Okay. So I'd say we'd get a couple more things done, but we can get them done rather quickly once we have the basics in play. Only another 30 seconds, folks. Another swig of coffee, much needed. So hopefully your weekend is going well. I hope you enjoy this plane. Matter of fact, let's, you know what? Let's get another look at it. All right, we are out of the break. So let's get after it, shall we? Into the cockpit over here. All right, now remember what we saw. The 304 will get that number, but the cargo will be more. The fuel will be more, even if I just kept the zero fuel weight really close to what it's reading, which, by the way, oh, for a second, I'm like, it is reading that. No. All right. Let me back it up. Again, here's your, when you come over to your EFB, click Load Calculator. That is the key to understanding this page. It calculates. All right, first thing up is our distance, 427. It moves in 50s. I'm going to set us at 500. Desired altitude, 30,000. Tailwind or headwind? You tell me. The winds are average wind through our flight is 302 degrees at 47 knots. That's right, a headwind. So how do you know you're going the right direction here? Look at your total fuel. If you go up and it goes down, okay, 43,646 and it went down to 0.4, it's going down the higher we go. That is indeed a tailwind. The engines are gonna work a little harder to push you through a headwind, where a tailwind's helping to push you.
Vienna traffic here, Austria 294 and initial runway 29.
So hang on, that just makes it easier. So that's how you can tell. So we need it to be minus 50, or yeah, let's see. Yeah, let's go 50 to be safe. Alternate. Alternate today is Dusseldorf. And that is 168 miles away. So there's 150 and again 50. So we'll put it at 200. Notice where our fuel is already. And I haven't even put people and cargo in yet. And we're already over 62,000. I'm going to run with a continuance of 10% and 30 minutes of taxi fuel. Okay, now let's go ahead and put the people in. 75%. Final results, first item is pax count, 293. Click it again. See how it changes? So then to get it at 304, all you got to do is pick where you want to add people. Okay, and you can see your CGs as you look further down that list. All right, so we lost a person. Whoa, there we go. Now, I told you I want to run cargo a little heavier than 16,000. Okay, so we were hitting PAX preset to preset this closer to 304 than fine tune. Cargo preset does exactly the same. We'll do 25%. That is about, well, you can add it up. 10, 25, 30-ish thousand pounds of fuel. Now, if you ever want to see what it actually is, click load sheet. 30,200 went into the cargo compartments. Passengers, 880. I'm trying to think, does it tell us that? No. So you can look at it here. I just go back. So now you have everything set up. So we are going to actually load 304 people, 30,200 pounds of cargo. That will do. Fuel is not 62,093 pounds. It's almost 72,000 pounds. So there's where I say it's all kind of, we'll see. And then, of course, you can manipulate up here. I put a 10% contingency in. So now, how do we load the plane? Refuel. First, click data sheet. So we're going to be draining fuel. I usually just instant fuel the plane. It takes a long time. First, we got to drain all that fuel out. So yeah, in this case, it's easier that way. That's how you put the fuel in. Payload, use your data sheet. There's your 304. There's your 30,000 for cargo. You can onboard them as in real time, or you can instantly board them and instantly deplane them and all of that good stuff. This I don't mind doing. Cool thing is when the cargo reaches 30,200, the doors start to close underneath the plane. And this is our cue, get our butt in gear. I'm going to give you a quick rundown of everything I'm clicking here. If it says test, you're going to see me test it. Now, when you get to the engines, which is right now where you see squib test up here, left bottle, right bottle, these are your engine tests, okay? I highly suggest you take it all the way to the panel here, turn your focus to the T handles above the pilots. Okay. One more. Okay. And that's all of that. There's one more we'll do when we get up there, but I'm going to get at it right now and finish this up. Like I said, if it says test, I test. Okay, we're getting pretty close. Quantity test, good. All right, now I set the altimeter here. Currently, we're showing 1014. 31,000. Usually I go 1,000 feet above cruise for my pressurization. We're in auto and everything is set good. Now the one that's a little complicated, we're going to just turn on and check our cross feeds, make sure they, whoop. And by the way, I usually check these before I fill the airplane with fuel, but that's just me. Okay, and then we check our pumps. Okay, these did not turn off because the tank is empty. Okay, finally, gauge check. Okay, reset, everything looks good. Come over here. Engine oil looks good. And then down here, do a light, check your light bulbs. Okay, move up here. Now, granted, you would think the pretty boys up front here would take care of that, the pilot and the co-pilot. But a lot of times the flight engineer gets a lot of it started and then they run their checks up here as well. Okay, so we're aligned. Here's that other test, as well as a CVR check. Okay, radios are on. Again, if it says test, test it. Okay, coming down, off, anti-skid on, body gear, steering armed. We'll explain about these later. Engine and ignitions 1 and 2 are off. Everything's set here, coming down the middle. We're aligned and in nav, and we're getting real quick through here. You can see our power lights are working good. And everything's looking good. Indicator light check here as well. Everything's good. Middle panel, good. And good. While we're here, well, let's get back up, turn that off. All right, now let's get down here. We got a couple of things to work out. Bear with me. It's close, why not? 109.55. All right, there's a reason I set these. Okay, first we want to set our panel lights. Radio INS to radio. Up left check. Watch your HSI. Make sure you got an up indication on your glide slope and your localizer moved. Down right, you probably will not see, I'm sorry, you will see. See how the localizer moved? You wouldn't on up left because you're on the left side of it. That's why. Now we'll switch you. Same thing. Okay, now we'll cut through here. Flight director, the bars came in. Airspeed, auto throttles off, autopilot's off. Courses we don't care about right now. We do want the selector on heading, 0 on the vertical speed. The altitude select and type of climb off and off. 2000 we'll use in a second. First officer. Same thing over here, 109.55. We're going to do an up, left, down, right. So you can see it's already deflected full left, so you won't get that. And then down right, you got a full move. Just want to make sure everything moves. Okay, and then finally, we start down on the next row. So I always start over here, just kind of work your way across. Clock, airspeed, horizontal indicator. All right, we're going to test. Again, you see the word test, you test. Okay. Okay, got the altimeter set there, cross-checked over there, check here. Okay, now, if your radar altimeter is not on 0, you will not get a test on it. If it is, you'll only get this on the pilot side. Okay, instrument warning checks, they're good above the, okay. Okay, altitude alert. You've heard this. You've never heard this on Flying with Mike. I know, Pinocchio, push your nose in. Okay, continue over, push to test. Push to test. Make sure, by the way, you got the green light and the gear lever down. Okay, another test. And then we just kind of walk over, double check. We're set on 1014. And again, a test, no sound because the first, I actually don't know. I'm not even going to speculate even with a joke because I don't know. And then we work our way back. This gauge right above your hydraulics, right to the right of your landing gear, I really like for checking your flight gear. Really nice and helpful. We'll get to the FMS in a minute. I set my TCAS to 40. And now we're going to get the radar fired up. And all we're doing is warming up the screen. Okay. Tells you you're not ready for takeoff. I would hope not, since the jetway and the building's in front of you. And everything's good there. Down in the bottom here, frequencies are set. Double check up on your X-Pilot that everything is correctly set. By the way, you can work the volumes here. So if somebody's obnoxiously loud, you can turn them down. You're not turning them down, you're turning the channel down. So you may or may not hear ATC. So I keep them full blast and deal with it. All right, 122.8, 121.5. Okay, standby on. We'll put that way up. And again, light switches to where you want them. We're ready. Take a look outside. Here we go. That is the basics to getting this plane up and ready to go. Duluth Fly, you're back. Welcome, welcome, welcome. All right, so one thing left to do is that FMC. Cool thing is we can pop it out. Route, company, we're gonna have to next. Click, verify, runway 29, LUGEM, okay. I still go in and do it myself. That way I know we're set. Osmo. 1 Charlie. Okay. Huh. Wonder why we don't have transitions. Interesting. Very interesting in my book, but okay. So out to SUBEN, Neiman. Here, I'll show you what we're looking at. Just making sure the flight plan is set up properly. Okay, so SUBEN, Neiman, Acme, NIMD, Ernest, Goldman, and Reddy. And then ASFAT or ASPAT and DEBHI. And then we start inbound. So we go back here, go to arrivals. All right, now, neat thing about this program. You can see right now we're set up to come in on 7 right. Well, we don't have an approach. Let's just do simplicity here. Go with the ILS 7 right, DF654. Click it. Okay, so we'll do that over here. ILS7 right here, coming in on the, is it DEBHI? Yeah. DEBHI 1 Charlie. Execute. I always want to check the legs. Okay, Bulwick, ITC Schwechat, and then 35, 36, okay, 40, 41, 42, all the way out to 44, okay. All right, now we got a vector here. Victor is giving us a vector at 654. Huh. Interesting. And that is why I checked, because it was very interesting. Okay, 54, 53, 52, there we go. All right, so when we're coming down to clear this out, all we can do is either click on it, move it up, or direct, okay? Or we can turn in earlier. It's going to be our call. So everything looks good. I just want to check one thing that, whoop, 7 right, and we're out to 675 to FKC or FKS. Perfect. VNAV transition here is going to be 7,000. Next page, 30000. And we're ready to go with that. I'm going to put that one on progress. Okay, so we've got our flight plan loaded. We've probably got everybody on board. And the cool thing is we can run the checks. Yeah, you heard me say it. We can run the checklists and we'll be ready to go. First thing though, I want to get over here, get that APU running. Wait for the door to open. I'll get charts out of the way at the same time and start. Okay, we can watch the progress. All right. All right, we are now on the APU. We're on internal power and air, so we can start warming it up. And at the same time, come back over here.
Cockpit to ground. Disconnect ground power.
And that's how simple that was. And time consuming. We're ready to go. We could, and I like to run them, and I'll tell you why. I do miss things. If you're new to this plane, I highly recommend going through this, looking for them with the manuals, getting the switches figured out to where you wouldn't have to, but I still find I go through it to make sure I haven't forgot anything. Because boy, it doesn't take long, but hey, let's do it.
Gear lever and lights. Down and check. Brakes. Parked. Start levers. Off.
Stand by. While I'm thinking about it, I'm starting Acres.
Radios. On and check. Flight control hydraulic power. On. INS. Check and nav. Compasses. Slaved. Window heat. On. Seatbelts and no smoking. On. Emergency lights. Armed. Exterior lights. Check. Flight instruments. Check. Altimeters and clocks. 1014. Set and cross check. Radio INS switches. Radio. Radar and transponder. Standby. Indicator lights. Check. Engine and wing anti-ice. Off. Stall warning. Check. Mach airspeed warning. Check. Auto brakes. Check and off. Body gear steering. Arm. Anti-skid. On. Autopilot and flight director. Check and off. Takeoff warning. Check. Auto flight enunciators. Check. GPWS. Check. Instrument warning. Check. Flight director computer selectors. Check. Instrument source selectors. Normal. Reserve brake valve. Closed. Spoilers. Down. Static selectors. Normal. Oxygen mask and regulator. Check and emergency off.
Okay, just made sure we had brake pressure.
Brake pressure. Check. Stabilizer trim. Check and on. Rudder and aileron trim. Check. Rudder and aileron trim. Check. Checklist completed. Ladies and gentlemen, this is your captain speaking. On behalf of the entire crew, welcome aboard the Boeing 747 Classic. We will depart shortly after we have our clearance and the cabin crew is finished with their preparations. For now, I wish you a pleasant flight, and I will be back during the flight with further flight information. Cabin crew, arm slides.
All doors are closed and armed.
All right. Now, you can hear they're quiet. The captain wasn't because you're in that seat. You can turn the PA up and down to where you can hear it as well. All right. Last thing I want to do before we push back, before we run this checklist, get our calculations for this runway takeoff wise. All right. So let's first load our data sheet. I think flaps 10 will work. Yeah. All right. So runway length is 11,400 feet. It's actually 483 feet, but if you plan for 500 feet, you could run off the end. Airfield is 600 feet above, 290 for the runway. Dry, and the temperature once more is 8 degrees. Barometric pressure 2994. Winds 200 at 4. And real quick, do we have a slope? Up 0.2. Okay. Oh, wait a minute. Was I right? Oh, no, down. Okay. Now, with this information put in, this is what we're expecting. V1 at 122, rotate 131, 148. Set to speed bugs. There's our flap speeds. 300 once we pass 10,000. Initial pitch 17 and 3.1. Should go about halfway or so down the runway. Now let's finish it up.
Battery on. APU panel. Check. Auxiliary power. Check. Engine oil quantity. Check. Fuel quantity. 71783 pounds. Fuel panel. Check and set. Pressurization controls. Check and set. Bleed controls. Check and set. Hydraulic quantity. Check. EPR computer. Let's see.
Now, TOD, that is actually takeoff dry. Instead of pouring water into the engine to increase thrust out the in the exhaust,
Go around.
they prefer go around.
Check. Indicator lights. Check. Electrical panel. Check and set. Air conditioning controls. Check and set. Fire control and wing overheat panels. Check and set. Equipment cooling. Check. Passenger oxygen. Check. Hydraulic panel. Check and set. Fuel jettison panel. Check. Crew oxygen. On. Oxygen mask and regulator. Check and emergency off. ADPs off. Checklist completed.
All right, so we're good for pushback now. And I don't see any ATC up. Let's look around the airplane. Make sure all the doors are closed. The only thing we have to do is get rid of the chocks. So looks like all the doors are closed. Get that better pushback in here. Now you can use better pushback.
Ground to cockpit. Please show me where you want to go. Okay, all doors and hatches are closed, ready to connect.
Cleared to connect.
Shocks removed.
Tow connected and bypass pin inserted. Release parking brake.
Parking brake released.
Starting pushback, and you may start the engines.
All right. Basically open the start valve.
The engines.
Ready for engine start.
Starting engine 3.
Starter valve open.
Okay.
And 2.
Fuel on. Light up.
Starter off. Engine stabilized.
Okay, we'll start up number 4.
Starting engine 4.
Starter valve open. And 2.
Fuel on. Light up. Fuel on. Fuel on.
Starter off. Engine stabilized.
Starting engine 1.
Starter valve open.
Starting engine 2.
Starter valve open. 20% and 2.
Fuel on. Light up.
20% and 2.
Fuel on. Light up.
Starter off. Engine stabilized. Starter off. Engine stabilized.
All right. With them all going,
Operation complete. Please set parking brake.
Parking brake set.
Disconnecting tow. Stand by.
Parking brake released. Parking brake set.
just making sure pack valves, hydraulic panel set, flight recorder. Here we go.
recorder.
Tower is disconnected and
Start
bypass
switch.
pin has been removed. Hand signal on the right.
Beacon
I'll see you
lights.
next time and have a safe flight.
Brake pressure.
Check.
Start levers.
Idle detent.
Engine and the eyes.
Off.
Electrical panel. Check. Pack valves. Open. Dual warning lights. Out. Hydraulic panel. Check. Flight recorder. On. After start checklist completed.
All right, let's set flaps 10.
Flaps 10. Taxi checklist, please.
Flaps. Flaps 10.
Flaps 10.
Takeoff data. EPR and airspeed bugs.
Don't know why it keeps doing that, but we've done it.
Stabilizer trim.
Why'd that switch go back?
Set in green band.
My bad. I went the wrong way with it.
Drop heat.
On.
Flight controls.
Check.
Yaw dampers.
Check.
Seatbelt and shoulder harness.
Check.
APU.
Union traffic Austrian 86, Uniform Mike, approaching runway 29,
Totalizer and gross weight.
6 miles final.
Flight engineer and pilot panels. Check. Aft cargo heat. Normal. Seatbelt and shoulder harness. Check. Taxi checklist completed.
All right, we'll do these en route. Let's just go ahead, get our transponder. Here we go.
Parking brake released.
Vienna traffic, Clipper 73 heavy, taxiing to runway 29er. Heard somebody headed that way. I don't see him anymore. All right, welcome in again. Sorry, folks. It's an interesting bird, this one. You got a lot of checks to do. Takes time to get it airborne. Oh, he's on final. But it's such a fun plane, and there's even more checks if you have the INS. So, all right. So, took us about an hour and 10 minutes to get taxiing, and that's, you know, a little long. But I also was a little long-winded in some things. If you're comfortable and don't want to run the checklists, that'll get you out quicker. Again, this would be an airport if you fly the 747-8, A380, possibly 350s and 787s. There could be special routes. I don't think 787 so much gets it or the 350, but the 747-8 and the A380 usually have special taxi routes, mainly to keep them away from putting their wingtips in the wrong place, upside an airplane. All right, let's look at that before takeoff check. Icing considerations, cabin alert we've had. Let's get them in their seats, those flight attendants.
Cabin crew, take your seats.
Pack valves will close for takeoff. We'll disarm on the runway. Now, there is no reject setting on the auto brake, so don't worry about it. It's not like Airbus where you just set them to max. At least in this version. I don't know if they ever would have done that or not.
Before takeoff checklist.
Icing considerations.
Check.
Cabin alert.
Check.
Transponder.
Check.
Ignition.
And that's what happens if you miss something in the checklist. All right, I'm going to go ahead and set the parking brake. All right. Now, we talked real quick, you hear body gear steering. The two main landing gear struts with wheel bogies under the aircraft will pivot as you turn to help make it a sharper turn. Otherwise, you're dragging all of these 18 tires, well, except for the front two, 16 tires are getting drugged pretty hard as you turn. And when these first came out, these airports were not set up for the plane. So that's how they were able to get around. Even when they set them up with wider turns and all of that, it still helps save money on tires. All right, so we got held up at ignition. There is a click spot up here where you see engine ignition. If you click it right under it, you'll see it.
Hold on. Disarm.
Oop.
Back valves. Let's see.
But I'm going to go ahead, take to the runway, and then we'll start finishing it up once we're there.
Stabilized.
I was hoping not to go that hard on the engines, but oh well. I like using that when I get going, but it's already said, so it won't do it again. All right. We're at pack valves, but we got to first disengage the body gear steering once we get on the runway. Yeah, when these 747s hit the market, airports were not ready for the weight and the just immense size of this plane. it took several years for airports to build up to this plane. The 727 lengthened runways because of their performance on takeoff in hot, humid climates, as well as density altitudes. When they're high up, boy, they eat runways like it's nothing. Okay, hang on. There we go. Okay, we'll get that parking brake set one more time. Disengage.
Cabin ready.
Packs off. Gives it as much power as we can give it.
Pressurization mode selector. Auto. Fuel boost pumps. On. Cross feed valves. Check. Before takeoff checklist completed.
Okay, after takeoff. Actually is going to be a lot longer than right after takeoff. You'll see why. And it's, well, let's look at it real quick. Yeah. Okay, everything's looking good. But the landing and logo lights don't go off till after 10,000 feet. So, yeah, parking brake, here we go.
Cross set.
All right, a lot goes on real quick. Now we get back here. All right, we're in climb. And why are we... Why did that disengage? Huh. Okay, now let's run it.
After takeoff checklist.
Gear lever.
Off.
Landing and logo lights.
Hold on. Off.
Ignition.
Check.
Seatbelts and no smoking sign.
Check.
Back valves. Open. Fuel heat. Auto. After takeoff checklist completed.
All right, next checklist will be descent. And we're on our way. Wow. Overshot because somehow the autopilot disengaged, which was weird. Also, always make sure the green light auto select shows above your altimeter here and the green light shows. Otherwise, you'll blow through altitudes. We've had, it's happened several times to me for not paying attention. And so it happens. And we're about an hour or so out of Frankfurt. We're headed to 30,000. I hope you all enjoyed that. Yeah, it showed me even a little rusty, but we're on our way. So, like I said, a little further than what we did to Antigua, but I hope you all enjoyed. And YouTube, you'll see that with the first video, that it was a really quick run. This one's a little longer. So, all right. So enjoy. I am going to rest my throat just a little bit. So I'm glad you all are here, and I hope you all enjoy the flight to Frankfurter. All right, we are about 2,000 feet away from top of altitude, top of climb, and things will get a little more interesting. I'm going to go ahead, switch us into speed. Select, okay. We're still select, we're still on autopilot, okay. Now, why I set speed, I don't yet know what Mach 0.85 will be, if we can even get to it. So we're going to keep the climb as is. We'll level off, let the aircraft speed up. It will go no faster than 300 knots right now. Now, altitude hold is just that. It's going to hold the altitude. So when you get ready for descent, which will be, hang on. That's a good speed. Okay. Roughly 170 miles out. I kind of don't trust that. We're on the what? 1 Charlie. So 19, actually 24,000 at DEBHI. I thought that was next page. Sorry. Could be about right. Anyway, DEBHI would be, okay. Yeah, I think that's going to be pretty close. All right, now I actually could speed us up. We're going to try to, okay, there we go. We're on our way. 24,000 at DEBHI, which will be a little bit of travel time. Yeah, that could be pretty close. I think around Redney will be a good descent point. So enjoy the flight.
Through the cabin with hot or cold drinks, as well as a light meal. Alcoholic drinks are also available at a nominal charge. Sit back and relax and enjoy the flight.
All right, there you have it. So we're on our way. ETA looks to be 30 minutes. Am I reading that right? 30 minutes or so. I didn't start Elevatech. I'm not worried about it. So, all right. So sit back, relax, enjoy. I am going to eat a light meal that I have. And when we're ready, we'll bring her in for a landing at Frankfurt. All right, folks, back with you. Just finished up my in-flight meal. Sorry, passengers don't get it. Pizza. And we're getting closer to top of descent. And when this finishes, we'll kill the music and prepare for arrival 80 miles out. Well, you have to kill it early. We'll see. All right, let's see where we're hiding out here in the blue yonder skies. Yeah, we got a little ways to go. Let me look at my FMC again. Redney. Okay, we got a little, I think when we get to Ernest, we'll start our descent. Ernest or Golmo. To 24,000 and then follow it on in. Now this isn't like the Airbus. I don't remember if Zibo works the altitudes you may have had. Oh, here we go again. We're going to have a lot of those messages come up. We had them on the way over. We're going to have them on the way back. I thought they'd clear with the latest RNAC. Guess not. But this one, you got to kind of really watch it yourself so that you don't get too low too quick. That you follow your star. Now, granted, when you don't have ATC, you've got more leeway. But when you do, you got to make sure you're within those windows that they give you. For instance, let me show it here real quick. All right, there's the latest from Frankfurt weather. All right, but anyway, here's what I'm talking about. DEBHI at 24,000. That's an altitude we have to make, a hard altitude. Then we're on the 1 Charlie, which is for the 7s. It says up here, I think. But anyway, the 7s, basically. And then the other one is for the 2 5s. All right, I'm going to go ahead and kill the music. Otherwise, I will forget. But see here at BOEC, we got to be between 19 and 24. That's where you need to be. So we're still good all the way to ITHIT to be at 24,000 and be on the descent. After that, we do need to make sure we're descending because you're at the top end. You're allowed to be at 24,000 or in between that to 18,000. So yeah, we've got to, just got to get to that sequencing altitude of 24,000. And then we can start easing it on down. Then we're going to fly over here. Now, CHA, which is weird. They're both for the 7s. Oh, my bad. 7 right, 7 center, 7 left. I thought they were for the 2 5s. Anyway. It depends how they're going to sequence you in, from the north or from the south. If you're going on the north side, they're giving you a little bit more altitude. South side, they're wanting you to start down to 11,000. So, okay, my bad. I didn't read that properly. Then, just for those curious, here's our ILS. Again, we're going to be coming up this way, and we're going to come in at 654. Work our way in. Frequencies across the top. We'll set 110.95 when we get a little closer. 66 degrees and plan on 660 at 4,000. Okay. Decision height 200. And there's our descent path. Let's see here. We'll probably be right around 800 feet a minute. And then our minimums, we're allowed 200 and 550 on the meters. Okay, so that's our approach that we're planning. We got a lot of these to go by, and I don't know why. So we're getting close. We'll be starting down here shortly. But I really do hope you've all enjoyed. It's been a fantastic day of flying here on Twitch with the sim. Beautiful weather for the most part, and just an absolute great time, great crowd here with us, and hope you've all enjoyed. We've got just a little under 20 minutes to get there, or a little over, I should say. And let's get our radar altimeter set. Okay, 200 there. 1535 over here. All right, we're 125 miles out of that. And we're going to wait till we get on the descent to set nav 1, just in case we got to switch to flying. Well, we'd have to find a different way in. But we're doing good here. We're clipping along real nice and easy. Here at our flight level 300, and hope you've all enjoyed. All right, again, thanks for being a part of Flying with Mike. We sure appreciate you. We're in top of descent. As I said, we're going to set speed and just take that all the way to the ground. We just set 300 in the dial, 24,000 for DEBHI, and we're going to go at about a little over 2,000 feet a minute, see how that does. The good thing is we can push past DEBHI because the next 3 or 4 fixes, BOEC and ITHIT, all top at 24,000. So we can actually ride that and then start our descent down to 11,000 by Charlie, CHAVOR, and then continue into our arrival profile. So again, thank you for taking some of your Sunday out to be with us, and hope you all had a fantastic weekend. Always seems like a long time since I've streamed, even though it was just Friday. Always just seems very like it was quite a while ago. Tomorrow we have a great stream lined up for you. I'm going to kind of keep it under wraps till we release it later tonight, and look forward to seeing y'all. I know some may not be able to make it because of work, but you know, I get it. So all right, we got down a little quicker than I thought, so that's why 24,000 was a good number at DEBHI, and that's what you got to be careful of. Getting down too quick on some of these stars, you're going to hang really low, burning more fuel than you wanted. This one, we're only going to burn a little extra fuel. All right, as we did not check That's what I meant when I said you gotta watch what's going on. I thought I saw it on altitude select and missed it, which is fine. We're getting back up to 24,000 real quick. .300 knots. I don't think we have any speed restrictions on this. None that I see or read. So and we just had a weather update 15 minutes ago, 050 at 3 and 9 degrees. Now, granted, yeah, you would think it's winter, but it's not. Okay, are we on the chart here yet? There we are. Okay, so we're at 24,300's good. We'll start backing that off a little more as we start into the next descent. But again, just like San Juan to Antigua TAPA, short flight, about an hour, 15 minutes tops, 2 hours of your day. By the time you put the plane, get her set up, flight set up, the whole thing, hour and a half, 2 hours. This flight is about an hour, 25 minutes, plus your whatever you take to get the plane ready and the flight ready. So really good short flights for those that don't like the longer haul flights. And by longer haul, I mean 2 to 5 hours. Long haul, which is what I used to love to fly, are well past 5 hours. In my book, everyone has a different book. Okay, we're level at 24. 300 knots. We're about halfway to Bowick. Okay, I'm going to pull back a little more to 280. And we're going to get ready for the second half of this descent. At Bowick, I'm going to go ahead, start heading down to 14, but ready to hit for 11 if we're pushing over like we should. And we're going to see a lot of these. I don't know why. I'm guessing they've added airports with this last beta 5, and they forgot to add stuff to the database or get nav data. I don't know where all of these messages are coming from. What's generating them other than the fact they're missing, as it's telling us? I don't know. All right, I'm going to go ahead. Now you see how the aircraft started descending. That's because it's in altitude select. I'm setting 11,000. (1,500 feet a minute). I'm going to go over here, open up my reserve tanks. I don't think there's much more than that. Auto brakes. Let's go ahead, plan minimum. Let's. Okay. Radios, pressures. Okay. Panel. Yeah, we'll get to that later. All right. So we're descending, and they're getting the cabin ready. I'm going to go ahead. If you guys want to put a prediction in for this arrival, exclamation predict and space negative number. If you don't use a negative number, it won't necessarily record unless you're the only one. So still no controllers at Frankfurter, so we are good to go. Okay, let me see how our descent is going. Let's steepen it up. Okay, we're about 100 miles out of Frankfurt and 20 27 miles out of Charlie VOR. And at Charlie VOR, it's 11,000 feet. All right, I'm going to go ahead and set my ILS now. 110.95. 66. All right, we're getting there, 15,000, and we're going to need speed brakes. Okay, we're going to make it right to our altitude right on time. Let's get this set for 250. And we're looking to go to 1018 on the barometric. Also, we need to start dumping our pressure back there. Perfect. All right, let's get on our 7. Wait,
1,000 level off. Approach checklist, please.
Seatbelts and shoulder harness.
Check.
Seatbelts and no smoking signs.
On.
Anti-ice.
Off.
Exterior lights.
Check.
Auto brakes.
Low.
Radio INS switches.
Radio.
Flight director computer selectors.
Check.
Brake pressure.
Check.
Altimeters.
1013. Set and cross check.
Landing data, EPR and airspeed bugs.
Set and cross check.
Seatbelts and shoulder harness. Check. Fuel panel. Check. Fuel heat. Wait. Off. EPR computer. This. Go around. Cabin altitude. Check. Circuit breakers. Check. Approach checklist completed.
Oh, sorry, that came out of nowhere. All right, we are at 11,000, getting ready past checkpoint Charlie. No, but seriously, we are getting ready to fly over Charlie VOR, and that means we are setting up here to go downwind of Frankfurt on the ILS for runway 7 right, southernmost runway there. Believe me, not a long taxi. All right, so here we go. Next big checklist we have, well, really isn't much, is our landing gear, flap, spoilers, ignitions, which are all set. And let's see where I am on this arrival. Okay, we got about 13 miles. So we got about 9 to go, and we'll be there. And we're going to go ahead and now the goal, 654 right here, 4,000 feet. Now, technically, when you look at the ILS, let me pull it up here real quick. We got a couple seconds. All right, when you look at that profile, 660 technically is it, but it's saying 4,000 feet here. So we're going to kind of cruise. Allows us in that 8, 13, 16-ish miles to get the plane slowed for the roughly 10-mile journey to the runway. 11 mile, I think it is. 11.6. So gets us slowed, get flaps out, you know, helps us to stay ahead of the plane. Albeit, they're going to want you to keep your speed up as long as you feel comfortable, and then, you know, do your thing. So we're going to head to 4,000 right now. And 1,000 feet a minute. I think we may 9-7. That might work. Might steepen it just a bit. I'm going to get us to 245. Yeah, make it 240. Why? So that way, if, you know, we can try to make sure that airspeed stays under 250. Let's get the lights on.
Cabin crew, prepare for landing.
Taking it, let's go ahead, steepen up just a little. And if we get to 4,000 abreast of where we need to be, we can always turn inbound. So okay, at this point, we are pretty much ready. Altitude select, speed is set. We may need a little bit of spoilers, speed brakes. Okay, that's always a good sign. Okay, there's the river. Okay, we're doing pretty good here. And we're not holding speed at this well. I got a feeling we're going to need, what I'm going to do is get out here around, there's a perfect heading to set here. It'll dump us in about 18 miles out. All right, here we go. We're starting approach. Frankfurt traffic, Clipper 73 heavy, intercepting the localizer for 7 right, approximately 20 miles out. All right, here we go. Do not have anything in sight yet.
Flaps 10. Gear down. Gears down. Green light.
Well, it's not clear and visibility okay, but and Frankfurt traffic, Clipper 73 heavy, fully established, 7 right, approximately 10 miles out.
Flaps 20. Flaps 30.
And Frankfurt traffic, Clipper 73 heavy, about 5 mile final now, 7 right. Okay, runway in sight, will be landing. Landing.
Approaching minimums.
Stable and landing.
50, 40, 30, 20, 10. Check reverse. Out, off, reverse. Auto brake off. 60 knots. Flaps 5. Flaps up.
Frankfurt traffic. Clipper 7-3 heavies off all our runways, headed to the gates.
After landing checklist.
Brake pressure.
Check.
Body gear steering.
Arm.
Auto brakes.
Damn. Off.
Ignition.
Off.
Engine and wing anti-ice. Wait. Manual.
Oh,
Aft cargo heat. Off. APU. Check. Checklist completed.
all right. We're on the ground. Welcome to Frankfurt. Numbers don't look good to me. I thought that was actually a pretty decent landing, but you know, hey, not gonna worry too much over it. Just get ourselves into the gate. But thank you. Thank you all for coming aboard, flying with us here on Pan Am Virtual. It's a great virtual airline to check out. Let me get you the info here real quick. Now, I'm the one that actually handles the Pan Am side of the house. Another gentleman handles the TWA side of the house. That's right. Those of you that know your airline history, guess what? Some of the most vicious battles were between Pan Am and TWA, at least in the States. Can't say worldwide, don't follow many of the world airlines, but interesting combo. The other dichotomy, I live in St. Louis, and TWA I absolutely love. I know, you take what you can get, and we're handling the Pan Am side for our CEO. So I've still got some work to do on the Far East, but we've got great technology with FAMSys, and Duluth Fly has chimed in and said, yes, he is the one that runs TWA. We got great ACARS system, great website, all compliments of VAMSys and VA management system, whatever it's called. But anyway, check us out at that link. Love to have you aboard. All right. As we come into the gates here, let's get our lights off to be nice to them. Why don't we take the gate we pushed from? All right. I think we got everything. Hopefully, we'll find out here. We'll do a quick check before we run INS to align. Okay.
Cabin crew, doors may be opened. All right, secure cockpit checklist. Brakes. Damn. INS. Align. Probe and window heat. Off.
Back valves. Let's see. Check. Fuel boost pumps. Off. Reserve tank valves. Closed. Hydraulic panel. Check. Oxygen. Check. Flight recorder. Off.
I'm just doing the final checks here.
Emergency lights. Off. Radar. Off.
INS. Off. Radio switches. Wait.
Checklist completed.
All right. And while we're doing that, all right, there she is in Frankfurt. Hope you all enjoyed. That was really a great flight. Enjoyed it. May disagree with the landing, but you know, hey, we always do. All right, just clearing out things. All right, so let's bring in, wait a minute, the airline here. Now the airline got us at 258 feet a minute. That's where I felt that landing was. Let's see how, I know what Sim Toolkit did. So hang on a second, let's file that. And then at the same time, close. I like to check. Hey, we got 55 points on that flight, not bad. And we're back in Frankfurt. So that's that was fun and enjoyable. Now, let's get rid of the overlay, bring Sim Toolkit in. And as you can tell, they got us at 437, 144, and a 1.7 on the G's. Well, let's see what they got us. No more cargo. That's what that noise was. Not sure if you all heard that or not. Okay, so let's look at this. Here we go. Hour and a half flight, 330 miles, 15,600 kilograms. I kind of disagree with the numbers here, but it's what they recorded. It's what it is. Can disagree all I want. It doesn't matter. However, they had us on the center. Oh my goodness. All right. Well, we landed. Let's see. Looks like we get to gauge it ourselves. Looks like right on the center line. And foot looks like about 500, 1,000, roughly 18 to 1,900 feet down the runway. That is beautiful for a 13,000 foot runway. Now, whether or not we got the 400 or the 250, I'm not going to quibble. 1.7, all of that is trivial, but this, folks, was actually a pretty decent landing. So I'm going to say a win here. Hope you all enjoyed. This has been a very fun day of flying with Mike. We have, like I said, for those here on Twitch, you got to go from San Juan over to TAPA, which is VC Bird on Antigua. Then we traveled from Vienna up here to Frankfurt. So great day of 747 action. So I really hope you all enjoyed. I want to thank you all for being a part of Flying with Mike. We're going to kind of wrap up the day here. We have enjoyed a lot of great flying here. Some great people here with us. We had a great crew. And thank you so much for taking some time on your Sunday. Tomorrow, we've got another flight planned. Right now, only one, but you never know what I may come up with. So for now, I hope you all have again enjoyed this great day on Twitch. Those of you on YouTube get it in 2 different videos. So, all right. Well, if you're on YouTube, hit that like, subscribe button if you're new. Love to have you added to our family over there in YouTube land. Twitch, if you're new to us, you like what you see and all, hey, smash that follow button. We'd love you to join us on our next flight. It only costs you an email if you turn on notifications. So I want to thank you again. Hope you all enjoyed the flights, and we'll see you tomorrow around 10, 11 o'clock. We'll see what time I can get things going, and hope you all enjoy. God bless you all. We'll see you tomorrow. Have a great night.